What's good, everybody? Answer, for those of you that have worked with me in the past, it's all good. Life is all about perspective. By a show of hands, who here has ever been through a bad day? Some of you are thinking, I'm having a bad day right now. Thanks for bringing it up, Paul. But you know what? It's not a question of when bad days happen. It's how do we get out of them? And I think it's imperative right now because I think growth can happen when you're truly vulnerable. So right now, we're going to be vulnerable just for a moment. Now, this is going to seem counterintuitive because many of you have spent your whole lives trying to get past this moment. But right now, I'm going to ask you to think about it. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about the most challenging moment in your whole entire life. You felt an unspeakable heartache, a tragedy. You lost your sight. Your child was going through pediatric cancer. God forbid you lost a loved one. You're trying to figure out how to make ends meet. Whatever it was, in that moment, you thought to yourself, there's no possible way I can make it through this moment. Now open your eyes. You did. You made it through that moment, and you're here today. And I got news for you. This is going to suck to hear. The next minutes, days, weeks, years to follow, you guys are going to feel this unspeakable tragedy, heartache, and pain again. And you're going to make it through that because that's what we do. We're resilient. But how do you do it? Well, how I do it is I gravitate towards the things that give me strength. I gravitate towards what I call fundamentalism, or the fundamentals of a fun and optimistic lifestyle. So what do you do for fun? Now, oftentimes I find that we make excuses for ourselves in life. We say it's not that simple. Years ago, there was a world champion boxer by the name of Vinny Pazienza. He was a gentleman that was trying to reinvent himself as a boxer. He was at the tail end of his career, and one day he got a call. He got a call to fight the best pound-for-pound boxer on the planet, Mr. Roberto Duran. He was thrilled to the moon. He signed the contract, went out and celebrated that night. Got into a horrific car accident with his best friend and woke up surrounded by doctors and family. They said, Vinny, we got some bad news, brother. You broke your neck. He said, what are my options, doc? He said, well, Vinny, you got one of two options. We can outfit you with a halo, or you could have spinal fusion surgery. Vinny decided that he was going to go the route of the halo because he heard that he had a higher probability of success in living the life that he once lived if he went that route. So he said, when can I fight again, doc? Doctor looked at Vinny and said, Vinny, you don't understand the severity of the situation. We don't know if you're going to walk again, let alone fight. He said, oh, I'll fight. And fight he did. He fought Roberto Duran. He recovered all the way back from a broken neck, and he beat him. He was a world champ again. Weeks later, he was interviewed. Sitting across from a reporter, she asked him, what did you learn through this horrendous experience, but resilient experience? And he said, I realized that boxing is a savage sport. And there are some terrible people out there that will tell you whatever they can to get up and get by. Lies. Oh, the lies, he said. The reporter looked at Vinny and she said, what's the biggest lie you've ever been told? He said, it's not that simple. She said, well, what do you mean it's not that simple, Vinny? He said, no, that's the biggest lie I've ever been told. It's not that simple. We've all told ourselves that. Thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Oh, I want a better job. It's not that simple. Oh, I want to run a better meeting. It's not that simple. I want to find the right speaker. It's not that simple. I want to make more money. It's not that simple. I want to deal with this crippling, debilitating anxiety in my head. It's not that simple. It is that simple, he said. Do the thing that they say can't be done, and then it's done. And then you realize it is that simple. And it always was. What I do is I help organizations like yours and individuals like you find their strength, gravitate towards their fundamentalism, because everybody's going through something. So how do you get there? How do you get through it? Well, it's predicated on fun. Fun is not just a word to me, it's an acronym. The F stands for foundation. What's the F stand for? Foundation, that's absolutely right. It's everything that you are. Everything that you stand for, your moral compass, why you are the way that you are. That's your foundation. You should have purpose in everything that you do. That purpose should manifest itself in everything that you do. And a great way to check in, everybody do me a favor, pull out your phones, just briefly. Oh, speakers typically don't want this to happen. Pull out your phones, do me a favor. I want you to find in your mind somebody that you feel really knows you. I want you to think about that individual right now, and I want you to text them. Text them with no context whatsoever, and ask them this question. Describe me in 3 words. Describe me in 3 words. Now, this is a great way to check in regarding your purpose and whether it's manifesting itself in all that you do. I recently asked my 5-year-old daughter, who has no idea what I do for a living, to describe me in 3 words. Before I reveal to you her answer, I'd like to show you a few things. You guys like to go out and act a fool once a year. You call it Halloween. I call that a Tuesday. One of my fundamentalisms is I like to dress up for fun. I go to the grocery store and whatever happens, happens. This is me as Mr. Lloyd Christmas. Harry, I took care of it. This is me as the greatest wrestler ever known to mankind, Mr. Ric Flair. What was Ric Flair known for? A woo! This is me on the 4th of July because, well, America, am I right? And this is me as my last day in corporate America, running a Fortune 300 call center for Farmers Insurance. My team dressed me up like this. Lived in Portland at the time. I was moving back to Kansas City. I didn't know if I made a difference, just as you guys don't know sometimes whether you're making a difference. It was this day when I got into the office and I walked in the front door and there was a yellow brick road all through the call center. And I got to my office and there is a bouquet of balloons in the form of a rainbow. And I walk in and that medium-sized shirt is sitting for me with that wig and a pair of Toms with red glitter. That I knew that I made a difference. Now, my purpose is to reveal the opportunity that everybody has out there to have more fun. Anybody feel like you can have a little more fun in life? If you can't answer that question, believe me, you can have a little more fun in life. So I asked my daughter to describe me in 3 words. She said, Daddy, you're funny, you're silly, and you're kind. And there's no better description of myself that I would ask any person that I meet to have those 3 words define them. And my daughter knows it at 5. Check in with the folks that you love. Check in with the folks that you work with. This challenge does not have to stop here. Don't stop with 1 person. Email 6 more and see if there's continuity in how you see yourself or your organization versus how everybody else does. That's the F, which again stands for what? Foundation. The U stands for understanding others' perspectives. You got 2 ways that you could approach any situation. You could be curious or you could be furious. Now, oftentimes something happens to us and we get mad. That stoplight, right? We're waiting on it. It's like, gosh, dang it, why is this stoplight? Everything's out to get me. Or we could be curious about that situation. And we could say, what is it about my energy? What is it about what I'm doing right now that's driving this outcome? Because oftentimes what you see in others, the worst of what you see in others, isn't them, it's who? It's yourself. Realizing that the expectations and motivations of everybody are somewhat different, I believe in my heart of hearts that everybody is motivated by one thing. One thing. People say they're motivated by money. You guys have heard it, right? They say they're motivated by feeling valued. They say they're motivated by promotion and positions of power. That's not true. They're motivated by experience. Because if they say they're motivated by money, well, what does money get you? It buys you experience, stuff, right? You want appreciation. Well, what is that? The feeling, the experience of knowing that you matter. Your task as meeting planners is to identify an experience that connects with those in which you work or with whom you work. And it's a challenge in and of itself. So how do you do it? Well, you got to show a genuine interest in everybody. You got to ask questions that matter. We've been asking these questions throughout the day. What's one thing, if you could remove limitations and fear, that you would like to try? What's one thing that you do for fun? What's something that you're super proud about that not many people know about you? These are questions that we never ask of one another, and as a result, you walk away from conversations not remembering anybody. The U stands for understanding others' perspectives. The N stands for next steps, because without the N in fun, well, it's just what? F.U. Next steps, live your purpose and allow itself to manifest in all that you do. Work to understand the perspective of others by asking meaningful questions. Gravitate towards the things that give you strength. If you want help, guys, just for you guys, I created a very tactical document, things that you could take away. pauljlong.com/MWSB gives you the 29 fundamentals for a better life and 29 questions to drive more memorable conversation. We got a brand new podcast, and of course, I want you to book me through Angela because she's absolutely amazing. For those of you that don't know, every portion of what I do goes towards pediatric cancer research. I met a young boy that really changed my life. His name is Noah Wilson. Just for being here today, for experiencing this right now, you've helped get the message out. And by bringing me into your organization, I'm certain that this young boy, Fundamentalism and Fun, can change your organization as well. Here's what you've become a part of.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to meet Noah at the K. Eric Hosmer introduced me to him and his wonderful family, and I've been really blessed to be able to be a part of Noah's Bandage Project. I didn't know that at the time, 43 kids in the U.S. just like Noah would be diagnosed that day and every day with cancer. I also didn't know that 6 children would lose their lives from this disease every single day. My name is Danny Duffy. I'm a pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, and I'm teaming up with Noah's Bandage Project to help fund research for pediatric cancer.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
It's really bothersome that 4% of all federal research funding goes to pediatric cancer, and we're going to be the change that we want to see. I think that kids should be given hope, and they should have that fighting chance. Noah's Bandage Project is leading the way in funding targeted pediatric cancer research, which will help reduce side effects and ultimately bring cures for childhood cancer.
Well, when I first started going to the hospital and everything, I used to get a lot of pokes and everything, and all I got were like brown Band-Aids. And I didn't like brown Band-Aids, so I decided to start a Band-Aids project. So then we put it on Facebook, and then it just gone viral. So then everybody...
If one patient can have an idea that can then impact the hospital's buying policy, and can impact our supply chain, well, here's an example of a kid who changed the way we do business and changed the way that other kids are receiving care because he had an idea.
I never knew this, but they give like Band-Aids that I've never noticed. Like they give like macaroni and cheese Band-Aids, bacon Band-Aids, pickle Band-Aids, Abraham Lincoln Band-Aids, mustache Band-Aids, kiss Band-Aids, all those different kinds.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Duffy with the Kansas City Royals.
Hey, it's Eric Stone Street from Modern Family.
Hi, I'm Cassie Joy from The Voice on Team Blake.
Anyway, thank you for supporting Noah's Bandage Project.
I'm out. See ya.
A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
If you want to hear about Noah's story, if you want to learn more about fundamentalism, you want to learn more about fun and how to drive a culture of experience in your organization, well, contact Angela. From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say thank you and have an amazing day.